My mother tried to cancel my son's 9th birthday because my sister's children didn't feel special enough. Not because we couldn't afford it. Not because something tragic had happened. But because balloons and a cake might hurt someone else's feelings. That was the moment I realized this story had been building for decades. That night, instead of arguing, we packed quietly. No dramatic speeches. No slammed doors. Just drawers opening, bags filling, and something inside me closing for good. A year later, when the cousins saw how happy my child was without them controlling the spotlight, my sister had a meltdown so public and so unhinged it finally exposed everything. The fallout didn't just ruin relationships. It dismantled an illusion my family had been carefully polishing for years. I never thought I'd tell this story publicly. I'm a private person. I fix wires, install panels, solve practical problems. I don't broadcast emotional ones. But this has been sitting in my chest like unfinished business, and if I don't let it out, it will rot there. I'm Owen. I'm 37. Licensed general contractor. I make solid money. Not flashy money, but stable money. In my family, that translated into one permanent role. The reliable mule. The one who shows up. The one who fixes. The one who absorbs. No one notices the person carrying the weight until he sets it down. Then suddenly he's selfish. My older sister Kylie lives in a different reality. She's a freelance makeup artist. 3 weddings a year, maybe 4 if the season is generous. But you'd think she runs an empire. She talks about expansion, branding, client pipelines. The house she films her content in is paid for entirely by her husband Colin, who works long hours in it. Everything about Kylie is presentation, lighting, angles, captions about empowerment. Behind the scenes, chaos. I don't hate her. Hate requires passion. What I feel is more like exhaustion. I stopped respecting her the night she announced at dinner that she built everything herself. I had just spent an entire weekend installing her staircase and security system for free. My mother applauded like Kylie had discovered a cure for something incurable. If Kylie posted a filtered selfie, Mom shared it everywhere. If I rewired an entire basement panel by hand, I got a distracted nod and a comment about how boys are good with tools. My father perfected neutrality. He watched the imbalance like a referee who never blew the whistle. This dynamic started when we were children. Kylie got private tennis lessons to develop her talent. I mowed lawns for $5 because it would build character. Apparently character was cheaper to invest in. By 15 I was working under an old contractor named Vince Caruso. He had hands like concrete and patience like a level beam. He taught me something that shaped my life. Electrical systems don't lie. Either the circuit is complete, or it isn't. No manipulation. No emotional fog. Just truth. I built my career on that principle. I met my wife Anna during a midnight service call. Her security system failed, and the monitoring company couldn't fix it remotely. I showed up expecting a routine job. She opened the door with tired eyes and offered me a cold beer when I finished. We ate pizza on her living room floor. She apologized for the mess. I remember thinking the mess felt honest. We married quietly at the courthouse. Grocery store flowers. A neighbor as witness. The photos are awkward. The memory is perfect. Kylie married at a resort with coordinated cocktails and a dessert wall taller than my truck. There was a custom hashtag. My mother cried and told everyone this was the proudest day of her life. At my wedding, she took one photo and left before the cake was cut. When my son Evan was born, something in me reset. Holding him in that hospital room, I understood my assignment. My job was simple. Make sure he never feels like background noise in someone else's celebration. We don't have extravagant rules in our house. Just a few quiet ones. Don't lie. Don't weaponize kindness. Don't keep score. Protect your peace. My extended family operates differently. Their currency is favors disguised as love. Install the cameras. Fix the garage door. Connect the Wi-Fi. Babysit because Kylie has a client emergency. Pick up catering because she double booked herself again. At first, I said yes to everything. That's what sons do. That's what brothers do. That's what keeps the temperature down. But the requests multiplied. They stopped asking and started scheduling. Saturday morning texts telling me what time I'd arrive. No discussion of whether I was free. Just assumption. If I mentioned Evan's soccer game, I'd hear, "It'll only take 20 minutes. It never took 20 minutes. It took an hour, sometimes two. And by the time I finished, the game would be over. Evan would ask where I was when he scored. I'd say family emergency. He'd nod in that too understanding way kids do when they're already learning what matters more than them. That look haunted me. We tried a joint birthday once. Evan turned 8. Mom insisted the cousins celebrate together. It was practical, she said. Efficient. Fair. My son blew out 3 of his own candles because his cousins wanted turns. I watched confusion flicker across his face while adults pretended it was adorable. Later he asked if joint meant it wasn't really his birthday. That question lodged somewhere deep. So when my mother told me to postpone his 9th birthday because Kylie's children had seen the decorations and felt overshadowed, I felt something shift from confusion to clarity. This wasn't about balloons. It wasn't about cake. It was about hierarchy. My son's happiness disrupted their balance of attention. I went to my parents' house to borrow folding tables for the party. Instead, I walked into a staged intervention. Mom at the counter. Kylie scrolling on her phone. Dad silent in his chair. We need to talk about tomorrow, Mom said, voice tight. She told me to cancel, to postpone, to be sensitive. Kylie added that her kids were going through a lot. Her marriage was cracking. Colin had moved out. The children were fragile. So my son doesn't get a birthday because your marriage is failing? I asked. She said that wasn't what she meant. But it was exactly what she meant. Mom warned there would be consequences if I insisted. No visits. No holidays. No support. In that moment, I didn't feel anger. I felt recognition. The blueprint Vince would have appreciated. The circuit was finally visible. Their love had conditions. I left without the tables. That night Anna and I sat at our kitchen table long after Evan fell asleep. We didn't argue. We didn't spiral. We simply asked one question. What kind of childhood are we building? The answer was clear. We had the party. We rented a small pavilion at a public park. $60. Paper plates. Hot dogs on a portable grill. A warehouse cake with thick frosting. Evan helped decorate the banner himself. The morning of the party, my phone exploded with calls. Warnings, guilt, ultimatums. I let it ring. When my parents and sister showed up uninvited, the tension was thick enough to cut. My mother scanned the setup like an inspector looking for violations. Kylie accused me of selfishness. Said her kids had cried all morning. I'm celebrating my son, I said. Calm, steady. She said I was making a point. She was right. I was. When my mother threatened again to cut contact, I told her she could stay and behave like a guest or leave. She called it an ultimatum. I called it a boundary. The children kept playing, laughing, running through grass with sticky hands and loud joy. Life doesn't pause for adult power struggles. Eventually they left in a storm of wounded pride. The party continued. Evan scored a goal in a chaotic soccer game and looked at me to make sure I saw it. I saw it. That night, after the last guest left and the park went quiet, Anna leaned into me and said she was proud. I realized I had been waiting my entire life for someone to say that without conditions. Within weeks, we moved. Quietly. No forwarding address. No announcements. We rented a small place across town above a tattoo shop owned by Vince. The hum of the machines became our background noise. The calls escalated at first. Concern turned to accusation. Accusation turned to financial manipulation. My mother even sent a spreadsheet listing loans I supposedly owed from holidays and gifts years ago. I responded by calculating the value of my unpaid labor. The total dwarfed her claims. She never replied. Months passed. Something unexpected happened. Evan changed. He slept through the night. He stopped flinching when the phone rang. He stopped asking whether we were visiting Grandma. Instead, he asked if friends could come over, if we could get pizza on Friday. The air in our apartment felt lighter. I raised my rates at work. Stopped apologizing for charging what I was worth. Clients respected it. Business grew. The more I valued my time, the more others did too. Meanwhile, cracks widened on the other side. Kylie's marriage collapsed. Financial secrets surfaced. Debt. Overspending. Illusions financed by someone else's salary. Without my free labor, repairs piled up. Tension turned into paperwork. Paperwork turned into divorce. My parents' retirement plans unraveled with it. The house they relied on selling needed repairs I once handled quietly. Now contractors charged market rates. Actions echo. A year later, at Evan's 10th birthday, we invited everyone again. No drama in the invitation. Just an open door. The cousins came first. They ran straight to the obstacle course we'd rented. Laughter erased adult grudges in seconds. Kylie arrived late. Watched her children have fun without her directing the narrative. Something in her expression cracked. My parents stood at the edge like visitors to a country they no longer understood. They asked to talk. Not today, I said. Today is his. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel angry either. I felt free. Sometimes the loudest rebellion isn't shouting. It's refusing to keep playing the role assigned to you. I didn't destroy my family. I just stopped holding it together alone.